Hello, and welcome back to another review for PlayStation VR. Today I will be reviewing Archangel. So without further ado, let's get into it. For story, I give the game a 6 out of 10. Archangel's story is simple and rather straightforward. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. While the story itself didn't keep me from coming back to the game, it did provide a reason for the events in the game to take place. And though there were a few slow moments in the game, the dialogue between the characters kept me entertained through those moments. Now, for the sake of not having any spoilers, the next topic I'm going to talk about will simply be referred to as the event. Towards the end of the game, a certain event takes place. I assume this event was intended to add a twist to the story, but it didn't really accomplish anything. Though the game does a decent job of giving you a connection to your character, despite its short 3 to 4 hour gameplay, it fails to give that connection with any of the other characters. Because of this, the event didn't really make me feel for any other characters or impact me in any other way. Also, this event didn't really impact the story or its outcome. Furthermore, any tension that this event did create was short-lived, as the entire scenario was presented and resolved within 10 minutes. All in all, the story wasn't too bad and served as a reason for the game to take place. Still, the event at the end of the game didn't have the effect of dramatic tension that I assumed it was supposed to create, and only cheapened the story. For addictiveness, I give Archangel a 5 out of 10. Nothing in Archangel made me not want to come back to the game, but on the same note, nothing aside from wanting to destroy more bad guys pulled me back every time. As mentioned earlier, the story wasn't deep enough for me to want to find out what happened next either. Still, the game was simply enjoyable enough to make me want to come back and keep playing it. For replayability, I give Archangel a 7 out of 10. Archangel has the option to replay levels all while using your upgraded abilities. The unfortunate thing is that there's no New Game Plus or similar feature that would allow the player to completely restart the game with all of your current upgrades. Also, when replaying individual levels, you only get weapons you would have had at that point in the story. For example, let's say all of your weapons/abilities are fully upgraded. If you play the mission before you unlocked the rocket launcher, you won't have the rocket launcher, but you'd still have your machine gun at its upgraded level. If Archangel had more upgrades to each ability and a New Game Plus feature, I would think the replayability of this game would have boosted tremendously. However, as it is, the game is still fun to play again, as blowing up drones and mowing down helpless infantry from a 6-story mech is one of life's luxuries. For immersiveness, Archangel receives an 8 out of 10. Archangel did a good job of making you feel like you're piloting a super-powered war machine, bringing your shielded left arm up just in time to block an incoming barrage of bullets, while returning your own hail of gunfire with your right arm is feeling best described as badass. As far as immersiveness goes, I have 3 nitpicks. The first is scaling. The mech you pilot is 6 stories tall, and most of the time it doesn't feel like it. This is mostly due to the fact that most of the terrain you find yourself surrounded by in the game is either large mountains or towering skyscrapers, both of which dwarf you and your mech. The second thing is the perspective you have on your arms when they are at your sides. Because of the angle, it looks as if your mech's knuckles are dragging on the ground.
So powerful, so negative, but with nowhere to direct it.
I know exactly where to direct it.
Multiple bogeys on our 11.
These last 2 things are what kept me from feeling as gigantic as I thought I should have felt. Thirdly, since the weapons are in the back of your mech's hands, you end up with some odd-looking stances while firing your weapons. While this actually probably adds mobility to your weapon's reticles, it does create some funny looking positions that somewhat deepen the experience. For mechanics, I gave the game an 8 out of 10. Archangel's controls are simple and relatively straightforward. There's nothing extraordinary about the controls, but there's nothing wrong with them either. What I did find enjoyable was how easy it was to fire multiple enemies with both arms at the same time. This is due mostly to the weapons having either splash damage or lock-on capabilities. The ability to mow down infantry on your right and simultaneously shoot down 6 drones on your left is truly what makes this game worth playing. All in all, I really enjoyed the game. Archangel made a rail shooter enjoyable by throwing so many enemies at you that you forget you're not walking the mech. $30 for the game is a bit pricey in my opinion. However, if money isn't a concern and you're just wanting to expand your VR library, or you managed to catch the game on sale, then I would certainly recommend picking it up. That being said, if you're only willing to pay what a game is worth, then I would take a look at Arizona Sunshine for $10 more, or Super Hot VR for $5 less. As always, thank you for watching.